This is the Run Recap. So we're doing with a challenge going on at the gym. That's it's like a heart rate points based challenge. So it's which is always hard for me to do because my heart rate doesn't get that high. And
do you notice? Are you experiencing that you actually have harder time? You have a harder time operating the higher heart rate as your heart rate works better lower?
Yeah, so I can't get up to like a yellow, for example, and that's kind of the metrics we're using. You know, like an 80% heart rate. I can't get up to the yellow and sustain it for all that long. I can set blue and green, okay, but anything higher than that's a lot of work. And
what are your color metrics? Because I don't have that in mind. So whereabouts would that be?
Yellow's 80%, green is 70. Green is 70. So
we're talking
blue is 60%.
We're talking like a 170 heart rate then, or
170 puts me in the yellow. Yeah.
Okay. So I have friends that run in the 200s.
You're right. Totally. I have clients that do the same thing.
And I have other friends, and like actually, I have one friend in particular that operates in the 200s. And I'm listening to him breathe. I run next to him and like, you're not breathing that hard. How is your heart beating that fast? And like, I can't do that at all. Like, I can't sustain a fast heart rate anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And what really kills me in this kind of a competition is not only can I not sustain it very well, I am so trained to slow it down as much as possible.
Sure.
And in this type of competition, you want to be in at least a steady state heart rate for a long period of time. And so anyway, that's just kind of the setup for when we do this, I do a lot of intervals. I try to do get myself up to like a green, because I can sustain a green like 70% for forever. And so I do a lot of like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off on the treadmills. Anyway, so I'm just doing a lot of cardio, a lot of workouts that can hold me in that position. And then I usually end by going for a run, because the run will push me over the edge, and by that time my legs are probably fried and I won't be able to do that much more. But that way I'll get up into the yellow for an extended amount of time. For some reason, running out. What's that?
So is the competition like how much exercise you can do at certain heart rates?
No, you get points for how long you spend at each zone. So for instance, if you're in the yellow or the red, you get, 3 points a minute or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not going to win. I have no intention of winning. I just, it's for the gym. It's good to participate. And I'm trying to motivate one of my other trainers that I think is really competitive. So I'm going to talk a ton of shit and get her going.
Because that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean she's going to destroy me. There's no chance. And
that's the most fun. Like if you're gonna really talk, like it's the most fun when like you're doing it to somebody because you know you're gonna lose anyway. So then, because then you're not a jerk for like.
Exactly.
You're just gonna destroy him, knowing the whole time like I'm not winning this.
Yeah, like so. For instance, to win this competition, you need to be doing like 200, averaging 200 a day. At least. And that's like, for me, getting 200 is going to take at least an hour and a half. And so she, I had, I think the first day of the competition, I like did a workout. I got like 60, and I told her, I'm like, you're losing. Like, you've already lost. Like, I got 60, you have nothing. And I think she got like 200 later that day or something like that. So of course. But oh man, it's storming over here, and so when I went for my run outside, it was just swirling wind, like every direction. It was super fun, but also I'm already exhausted, and trying to run in a storm with dead legs was so freaking hard, difficult. But that's not why I wanted to call today. The main reason I wanted to call is because almost a public service announcement for our 1 to 2 listeners. if you're gonna run barefoot with a minimal shoe, or
Uh-huh.
as I witnessed today, flip flops, um, learn how to run barefoot, please,
Yeah.
because it was so painful watching this dude run by me. And I think they were sandals. I think they were technically flip flops, but
These
I
are
heard
like
a flap. I heard a flap flap, so
buzzer.
I'm calling him a flip flop.
Sure.
Um, it was it was awful. It was cringing because he's just running short strides, decent pace, probably running like 7:30 or so, just
Uh-huh.
jamming his heels into the ground.
Oh, short
And
and heel strikes. That's rough.
yeah, short and heel. It was just Mike. People learn how difficult. If you're gonna do something that you think is good for you, learn how to do it the right way, so that
Well,
it
it was
actually can be good for you.
running is just this thing that like we all do because we are kids and what we can walk, we run is faster walking, right? So this is a thing you can just do, and then to think through that like you need to actually learn how to do it, learn how to be efficient, learn how to be good for your body because that's the
Yeah,
main thing, right? Like how
yeah,
much. It's running's bad for your knees. Well, yeah, it is if you do it wrong. It's real bad for you.
exactly.
I've run in ways that have been really bad for my knees. I was 3 miles in and I had to stop. That
Yeah,
there's ways to really destroy your knees running, and there's ways that it can be really good for you.
exactly, man. It was just so painful to watch
I'm
this
also
dude.
impressed though. This guy's out there in Tivas running in a crazy storm with crazy wind
Yeah, with no shirt on,
and no shirt.
and
Well,
he
how warm is it over there right now? Because we got this heat spike over here. We're dumped on with rain today, like crazy.
yeah.
We don't have the wind, but man, our temperature spiked. Like we're at 54 degrees. It's hot right now.
Yeah, we're right about there too. Like we
Yeah.
might even like high fifties. It's warm. We had thunder earlier, like lightning.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a weird day. When I
Uh
was running, I caught a patch of like it wasn't dumping rain, but it was still real windy.
huh.
But like if you're, it's just it's just so dumb. Like he was running with people. He was obviously a serious runner. He's running with people that also like no shirts, which around here, if you're not running with a shirt, like you're a serious runner because
Right. Yeah.
that's a making a statement.
Well,
And
and
so
people
he's
yell at you from their car. Like I used to get comments all the time for running without a shirt over there.
oh yeah, I still get it looks all the time.
Yeah,
And
you get
it's
weird looks, you get yelled at, you get all kinds of strange comments, all kinds of stuff.
and so he's running with no shirt. So he's obviously a decently real runner, but he's just oh, come on, man. It's like fix your form. Fix your form a little bit. Um and then so in addition to that, it sparked a memory that I was back in the day. I was doing a ton of certifications because I was a kind of a newer trainer, and so I was just getting certified in everything I could. And I did a running certification. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a not only am I a trainer, I'm a certified running coach. Um,
So you really
but
know.
I really know.
I talk
And
like
what
I know, and you actually know.
and I was really, I had been training for long enough that I was confident in my what I did professionally, but running, I'd never taken an official running certification. So I was really curious to what he was going to talk about and what I was going to learn from it, and especially about technique, stride, foot placement, because like it's always there's runners, it's always a little bit of a debate on should you midfoot strike, should you hit toe first, like all these things, how long should your stride
Mm-hmm.
be, and what I took away from it, one, the whole class, I just knew all of it. It wasn't there's no new information I
Sure.
didn't know from either experience or training, um, and some of it I actually disagreed with from a body fat loss perspective and that kind of thing, but
Yeah, there's
he
a
had
weird beliefs about all kinds of things in that realm.
yeah, runners get a little sometimes unscientific when it comes to body fat loss,
Sure.
or body composition change, I should say. But he he had very much nothing to say on running form. It was
Mm-hmm.
really a bummer. his perspective was, and I don't necessarily disagree with this perspective, but it was like your body will find the most efficient way to run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to a point, I actually agree with that. But then also I don't.
Well, and I have personal experience to say that like that's not what happened for me.
Exactly.
You
Right?
know, I had running form that had to be corrected, and I had to make like a conscious effort at correction for the course of
Yeah.
like 3 weeks.
So it's interesting to see or rather the certified running coach who was, I mean, I respected everything else he had to say, but he had mostly nothing to say about running technique,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or foot placement or any of that. It was real interesting.
Yeah, that's really too bad.
Yeah. Um. So anyway, that's a short one. I have nothing else to say, but I was
Well,
really annoyed by this
so
barefoot runner.
on this run while you're doing that, when I ran across a Tiva runner on the 2 races ago, because there was a
Yeah.
25, there was a trail race, and I ran a 10K, and there was a one of the guys run the 25K. We all kind of run parts on, and
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so he didn't start with me, so I knew he was on the 25K route.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was in Tivas, and yeah, he was, and he was towards the front of the 25K. So man, he was, that you can perform well in that. I mean, kind of whatever you set your body for, you can perform well, right?
Yeah, you can, but it's just not. Well, I mean, especially on pavement. Like I don't know if you're gonna barefoot run on a not even a minimalist shoe, on a nothing shoe. Uh, don't make it a pavement run. Go out on some
It is,
gravel or some grass or something.
given someone's done a lot of that, and it is miserable on pavement. It is
I can
not fun.
imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. It just seems terrible.
And your stride needs to be real short, but
Yeah.
yeah, the short steel stride, that's tough. And then when you're running, I also, at races, you see so many different running styles
Mm-hmm.
and various efficiencies, and it might be efficient for their body and stuff, and the one that always it drains me to watch
Mm-hmm.
is there's guys with just like built calves. I mean, their calves are
Yeah.
like as wide as my quads, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And their bounce is really, really high. So for a total, for a total energy thing, of course, that's not a very efficient way to run or whatever.
No.
But
No, it's not.
clearly, they built that calf muscle into a point where, like, hey, a lot of times they're beating me, so they found a way to run
Yeah.
like that and still be
It's such an
pretty fast.
energy. It's such an energy waster though
Yeah, you
to
can watch
have
this because
a lot of bounce.
yeah, it's not even shooting you forward. It's an upward motion. And
Yeah.
the frustrating part about watching it though is that I'm watching that while I'm tired and like if I can I have some of your energy that you've got here because you're bouncing up like 4 extra inches than I am. If I could have
Yeah.
some of that right now, I could speed up a little bit.
Do you know actually, aside from an all out sprint, the if we count one foot, so just rights, steps per minute, basically it's the optimal stride for any pace until you get to a 90% plus effort sprint is 80.
Okay.
If you should do this, or anyone listening should do
Well,
this.
I
If
have
you
data. That's interesting because I've never known what to correlate that data to.
if you go and you count just for a minute on any pace,
Mm-hmm.
I bet you will be around 80, give or take 10.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I've tried it myself tons of times. Like if your running form, if your run running form is efficient
Uh-huh.
and you have good run economy that we were talking about before,
Right.
meaning your force production with your cycle through match up well in their most efficient form, your stride will be around 80 steps a minute.
Okay.
Counting 1 foot, not counting each step.
I'm looking right now because I think that my Strava says that.
Oh, really?
I'm curious if I can see it right now.
If you can't, then gotta ditch that Strava.
Right. Well, it's like, I get told at least once a week, go get a proper watch. Like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, at least once a week, people tell me to, yeah, go get the right watch because my watch is, not have
Yeah.
GPS that's sending me all over the place. My PRs are
Yeah.
currently totally messed up in my Strava right now, where it says I have a 4-second quarter mile. I have a 4-minute mile, and
Right.
you know, all these like obviously did not happen, and I have to go back and like delete these, find what runs they happened in, and like you know, pretty much probably delete that run because it's just not even
Yeah.
close to real. And so one of these days I'll get a proper watch so I can actually look at the actual data.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's
You probably
ridiculous.
should because that Strava is not doing you real great at the moment.
Well, especially so we can really communicate properly for both of our fans, you know?
Yeah, I know because
So
the both of them really would appreciate the specific data.
people are relying on the things we're talking about today.
Ones of people are relying on it.
Ones of people are relying on what we have to say today, and you know, maybe even taking it to heart. Probably not,
Maybe
but maybe.
they'll take heart.
At least consideration.
Maybe they'll consider heart.
Uh,
Okay. Well,
I think I'm
I
gonna
should
head
go.
out and run a little bit later today because it's 54 degrees. It's perfect running weather. It's wet out, which seems kind of fun. And do that. I did a treadmill run earlier today, and my legs feel like noodles, so it's not gonna be a great thing. But get out there and move, and
Yeah.
it's warm weather where I got it.
My legs were feeling terrible, just destroyed. And then I did an ice bath when I got home. They feel pretty good now. Now I'm like, yeah, I should go run again.
Yeah, right.
I should not. I should not run again. That'd be a bad idea.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. You just keep going. It just gets better.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you later. All right.
Okay, sounds good. See ya.